But what's more interesting is we're talking about a small cap company. 21% CAGR, by the way, and that turns out to be, guess how much?
Basically need to know ki how well you are able to push your own products in the market,
But yeah, I think the portfolio is reflected from more अभी ज़्यादा branded generics है उनके. That is good for the company because it is good for the margin as well. Hi guys, welcome back to another podcast. This week we are back with another interesting company, and I think we always come up with interesting companies. So that's why I think people are very liking our content. दो लोगों ने बोला है मुझे यार. हम दोनों.
and no, but this can be proved with the fact that I think we have more than doubled our subscriber count
Yes, thank
in
you
the
guys.
last
First of
1 year. Yeah,
all our viewers, we're thanking you. And with this gratitude, we're starting a new company today. Sorry, we have already started. We have done with research, we have done with blog, and now we're starting to talk about it. So I think today we're going to talk about something which is which the sector is considered defensive in nature, and because the market is giving us very healthy returns.
market is getting
Yes.
offensive.
यस ऑफेंसिव हो रहा है. तो हमने थोड़ा
So-
थोड़ा डिफेंसिव करते
So
हैं.
we are changing our
यस
stance to
तो हमने
defense.
फार्मा सेक्टर चूज किया है, नॉट डिफेंस सेक्टर. वो अलग ही है भाई.
ब्रो बट काफी इंटरेस्टिंग. लास्ट वीक अपन ने दारू के ऊपर बात किया, इस वीक अपन दवा के ऊपर बात
दवा
करेंगे.
दारू भाई होना चाहिए जिंदगी में. तो आई थिंक बट व्हाट्स मोर इंटरेस्टिंग इज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अ स्मॉल कैप कंपनी. सो I think the company that we're talking about, it's Caplin Point Laboratories, and I think we're going to discuss that while in the last 10 years, Nifty Pharma index has given us 7% CAGR return, which is quite low, I think.
And to be honest, I was a bit surprised
Yeah,
when
तो जब
I
डेटा
saw this
निकालते
data.
टाइम मैंने
हाँ.
देखा तो मैंने बोला
भाई-
डाइवर्सिफिकेशन इज की. इतना बोल के फिर मैंने कैप्लिन का रिटर्न देखा. तो वो 21% था. तो 21% CAGR, by the way, and that turns out to be, guess how much in absolute?
28-30x.
वो तो अभी बात हुई अपना इसलिए भूल गया. So 27 or 28x होता है, which is crazy, by the way. And the fact that after that much return, it's still a small cap company with 18-19,000 crore market caps. So आज बात करेंगे कि ये small cap, mid cap होगा, large cap होगा, या वही पे वही रहेगा. Because we just talk about these things. We are by no means any financial advisor. So this is just for educational purpose and entertainment. So we
Yes,
advise
sir.
Yes, we advise to take advice from your financial advisor.
Oh,
With that lame joke, I think we're gonna start. What does Caplin do? And I think the company might be small cap, but I think it started in 1990, so it's pretty old company. I think it began its journey as a manufacturer of ointments and creams and other external application. तो बर्नॉल हो गया, that is an ointment. I don't know if you know soframycin.
हाँ ब्रो, ऐसा बचपन में
हाँ,
बहुत
जब
use
भी
किया है.
बर्न कुछ होता है ऐसा कुछ. But I'm not saying this company make this. I'm just giving an example of ointments. So yeah, similar application they started making. Then I think slowly they recognized the potential of a broader market, because I think they expanded their portfolio to include tablet, capsule, which are more serious stuff, because वो थोड़ा external से internal आ जाता है. So injection, then variety of other pharmaceutical products also. And I think over the time company has also decided to focus on R&D, because pharma company है तो the better you start to make your own stuff as in medicine, drugs. And I think if you so the better it is for you. So I think and also what they did interestingly is, I think they along with prioritizing product innovation, they also focused on their distribution. So I think they build their self-controlled business channel also. So that is also something interesting, because pharma companies are a lot more dependent on distributor, and because a commission भी होता है, इसने दिया उसने दिया.
हाँ, मतलब you basically need to know कि how well you are able to push your own products in the market. जितने ज़्यादा लोगों तक reach बढ़ेगा, only then you will be able to build your sales channel. So yeah, that is a distribution is the key in such businesses.
So I think this is reflected in the company's revenue composition also. I think because I think in back in FY12, 5% of the company's revenue was coming from branded generics and other was from pure generics. Now that 5% is scaled to 25%. 95 has come down to 75%. Key difference between branded generic and generic is branded has a more value because of its brand value, and generic is you can take it anything. So for example, अभी if you have a headache, so if you will go उसको बोलेगा कि क्रॉसिन दे दो, ठीक है, तो वो क्रॉसिन ही देगा. तो बट इफ यू से कि कुछ माइग्रेन हो रहा है, हेडेक का दवा दो, तो दैट गाय माइट गिव यू डिफरेंट मेडिसिन. एक्सपीरियंस नहीं किया है बट दैट्स आई थिंक. बट या आई थिंक द पोर्टफोलियो इज रिफ्लेक्टेड फ्रॉम मोर. अभी ज़्यादा ब्रांडेड जेनेरिक्स है उनके, दैट इज गुड फॉर द कंपनी बिकॉज इट इज गुड फॉर द मार्जिन as well. So I think this is basically what the company do, and it's all. But I think the main question remains that what is so special about Caplin? What is Bolo? What is so special about Caplin? What point toward Caplin Point?
No, Hare. God, please help him. I think he needs one of the medicines made by Caplin. So yeah, I think, as Chaitanya has already given you guys a description of what Caplin does. So I'll just talk about how is it different. So basically, I think Caplin took a rather, a very difficult and a bold step when it started its journey. Okay. So they entered into, geopolitically complex markets like Guinea and
Guinea.
Guinea. Oh, okay. Perfect.
Papua New Guinea.
Oh, yeah.
वो गिनी सेम ही है. Country in Africa.
Yeah, a country in Africa. Yes. So yeah, I think they, started to tap those markets which were underserved. तो वहाँ पे उन्होंने अपना काम चालू किया, and it became difficult for the new players to replicate, because if you are trying to set up your business or a distribution channel in such an underserved country, it obviously takes up a lot of effort, time and cost at the same time. So obviously it is very difficult for other players to replicate the same thing. Then at the same time, as I mentioned, they were into new markets, and Africa is an emerging market. So basically they were looking at the markets which are at the bottom of the pyramid. Yeah. Where a lot of players usually do not focus, thinking.
Yeah, that is very unique thing. I also realized that people, as soon as Indian pharma company, this even scale their operation by a little bit. They focus on developed market, US, Europe. But this is very quite opposite, very contrasting strategy. Started in a, I think so. That is, I think, वो focus वहाँ पे करोगे कि volume ज़्यादा आ जाए. And I think because वहाँ पे कोई player भी नहीं है, competition भी नहीं है.
So it was easy for them, कि भाई हाँ, to have their own dominance in that particular region. And then, as you mentioned, one of the greatest differentiator between Caplin and other pharma companies, is कि भाई other pharma companies usually hire distributors. So basically they have their own external channel.
It's like a easy way out ना. क्यों करे?
Outsource ही कर दिया पूरा काम. But then at the same time, Caplin took that extra effort, took that extra step. कि नहीं भाई, मैं मेरा खुद का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल खड़ा करेगा, खुद के लोग खड़ा करूंगा मार्केट के अंदर, so that they have better control and they are able to manage the network in a much better and efficient
way. Yeah, might take a little bit time, but I think over the longer term it
will give them results.
Yeah, it's a very good decision.
Actually has.
Yeah, and it's very it's actually much better if you take this decision on a very small level. So this is what we are talking about 10 years back. So वहाँ तब तो बहुत ही छोटी कंपनी थी, and on that level it has become for example the cost of this particular decision is not that big in terms of monetary loss. So I think that is what they decided to do. But again, this is all what they was making it different. But how did it resulted in its success? I think that is more interesting, because I think as we told, as you I think mentioned, its success I think goes back to the company's decision to taking a very different approach in terms of geography. It's a very bold step that the company did, but I think it was a very long-term strategic decision. It wasn't like just for the sake of taking it, because I think several factors contributed in that, and some of the reasons that I'll be discussing. I think first one is the operational efficiency, which is the obvious thing that we just discussed. I think the company's backward and forward integration, I think that was very, so company was able to control their own supply chain very efficiently. So that happened, and I think which is reflecting the company's profit going 17x. So I think yeah, more or less same. Right? Stock 28x, profit 17x. So I think it also reinforces the market wisdom that long term में earning को follow करता है.
Oh, guru,
धन्यवाद.
market guru.
But I think the same thing. This is why it becomes interesting. The EBITDA margin of the company was averaged around 32% over the 10-year period. So that is great. I mean, this is not a company which is into something very innovative. Pfizer or Moderna तो है. These are just a generic manufacturer. और उनके लिए maintaining this much is very important because यहाँ पे 2% के लिए it's a very cost sensitive market. So I think that is where the operational efficiency was very handy basically. I think and they didn't just sit relaxed कि भाई हो चल रहा है अच्छा है वगैरह वगैरह. They also focused another interesting point of view which was R&D. So I think back when in FY14 10 years back it was 2 crore का उनका total expense था R&D में which was 1% of revenue. So 200 crore का उनका धंधा था. Today that R&D is now 76x. 76 crore. 76 crore in absolute term, which is I think more interestingly 1% of revenue to 5% of revenue. So that is also something which company didn't stop going forward. कि भाई अभी अच्छा आ गया है तो we should stop. They in fact double down on that particular thing. And I think as a result, today we're seeing that the company has shifted from producing generic medicine to develop complex product like soft gel, because I think these things are very stringent in terms of regulatory environment if you talk about. And I think as a result, today company holds over 4,000 product license, and I think it manufactures 650 formulations. So that is another thing which
massive scale up.
Massive for a company which is still not that huge compared to its peers. And I think the third one is the new market. As you mentioned, they started in Guinea, Africa, but they didn't stop in 1 or 2 countries, because I think they since has grown their presence across 10 countries in Latin America basically, and now 80% of the revenue comes from that market. So a company based in India, अगर कोई बोलेगा कि ज़्यादातर उनका रेवेन्यू एक्सपोर्ट से आता है, फर्स्ट कंट्री कम्स टू माइंड इज US or Europe. But this company has only 18% of revenue coming from US, 80% from this market, Latin America and Africa, and rest too is from other part of the country, other part of the world. Sorry. So I think that is these the 3 reasons that you mentioned.
You know, now that we are talking about Caplin, मेरे को अभी strike हुआ that we also have a very similar kind of a story.
Of course.
Happening in other stock known as Jackson Pal in one of the Rupeeting small cases.
Not in terms of geography, but in terms of
product line, and how they are also managing their own distribution.
They also have a very different target audience.
Because so I think they are into what ये dermatology, pediatrics इन सब के अंदर है.
I think
women's health
the biggest is gynecology, right?
Gynecology.
That is a very because again very sensitive market, not easily regulatory available things. So
and same I think it is at this point when Caplin was 10 years ऐसा पहले, because उसका market cap तो भाई अभी सिर्फ ऐसा 1300 करोड़ का ही है. And look at where Caplin is now. So hopefully the same performances gets mirrored for Jackson Pal, and hopefully the Rupeeting small cases outperform like they have been doing since the past few years now.
Subscribe to Rupeeting small cases so that you can also
take advantage of this move.
Yes, your portfolio will also point towards
76
new highs.
76x.
76. But I think that was about the different thing where we talk about. But I think what's next for Caplin?
Yeah. So
can you point towards that? last one.
हाँ जी. So yeah, as you had mentioned that कि हाँ पहले लोगों का usually it's US or Europe अगर export heavy होता है, but इस case में it's 80% Latin America and then 18% US. Correct. But now what the company is trying to do is that company is now, starting to enter the US markets a bit more aggressively, because they think that now the company can pivot towards what, the other pharma companies do, because they already have a stronghold in the Latin America.
Correct.
So, and because of that, the company started maintaining, exceptional compliance records, because
That is a different market, dude.
Huh.
That's in terms of regulatory, US FDA.
you have to adhere to all the US FDA regulations, because one observation and
your whole division is shut down.
shut down for a long time.
Plus the reputation loss.
Yes.
That is, I mean, we have known so many companies in India going into that phase.
Definitely. So that, and I think for that what they've done is, so I think they are launching 14 products under their own name.
Okay.
And out of the 52 states in the US, I think they have received approvals from 49 states for these 14 products. So I think the company is just ready to launch their new products in the market. And at the same time, they have also filed 39 ANDAs. So basically what ANDA is, so the full form is abbreviated new drug application. Okay. So basically company, as you mentioned, ke हाँ भाई research अभी 5% of the revenues हो गया है. So they are continuously bringing in new drugs, new product innovations, and to enter that US market, you always need to get those applications first approved from the US FDA. Only then you can start getting them produced and delivering them in the states.
Of course.
So I think they applied for around 39 ANDAs, and out of 39 they already got approval for 30 ANDAs. So that is there. And at the same time, what they're doing is, US एक regulated market है, but they're also trying to tap into other regulated markets like Canada, Australia, Europe. And again, highly regulated, and if they're highly regulated, better margin opportunities.
Correct. Because I think if you're trying to get into the regulated market, might as well get all that are available, right? So effort to डालना ही है, so might as well capture whatever is there. So I think one thing which is there for US and all these market is very hard to get into, but once you get in, it's a massive opportunity. So the addressable market increases significantly, because there people in general care more about their healthcare and all, because basic things are taken care of,
Spending
as opposite to the current market that the company is present in.
Definitely. And at the same time, I think, if I'm not wrong, अभी Caplin में कुछ US FDA का visit भी था, and they cleared it successfully.
That was about the Caplin Sterline products.
है ना?
Yeah. So that was, I think, so जो sterile products आते हैं ना, which basically inject होते हैं body में, तो it has to be very sterile. तो उसका जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है वहाँ पे there was a US FDA
visit.
Inspection, yeah, but zero observation. So that also,
so again it shows how committed they are to this particular strategy, and how are they taking care of all the compliance issues. And at the same time, Caplin is also doing a major capex. So I think they have planned a capex of around 650 to 700 odd crores over the next few years. And to just give context how massive this is, so this particular amount is 40% of the FY24 revenues for the company.
Okay.
So that is there.
क्या मतलब अभी बड़ा मार्केट में जा रहे हो तो you will definitely need a big facility and all those.
And definitely, and I think this will be in phases. So I think the first phase is where they will be investing 250 crores in the next 2 years. So as you mentioned, Caplin का जो steriles का production line है जहाँ पे अभी inspection हुआ था, वहाँ पे they are increasing the capacity. Then they are in their API facility also, they'll start increasing the capacity for the generic APIs, which they have been doing since a long time now. And they are also have a new oncology facility for the injectables division.
Another very critical care.
So again, same critical care, higher margin, higher value products. So that is there. So yeah, these investments reflect कि हाँ भाई Caplin is serious about their long-term growth trajectory. And
I think once you have achieved some kind of scale in terms of any market for that matter in the world, it becomes rather easier. Of course, it's not easy. यहाँ पे बैठ के बात करना है. But yeah, so that also helps company into making more project more successful as the time passes basically.
So that is there. So yeah, I think we have covered pretty
new market
comprehensively.
New market with capex, new products also I think, and with top quality
management, compliance
and all those things.
And also I think Caplin can be a stock which you can keep in your watch list. So again, this is just for educational purposes, and you guys can get to know about more such interesting businesses taking place in the Indian stock markets. So yeah, I think we have covered the
So I
stock
think even if my same
clearly.
kitna return दे दिया है, and definitely going by the plans and all this company, the story seems far from over. So I think
Yeah, so I
that's
think it will can still continue delivering such exceptional returns, hopefully. So yeah, you guys can keep
definitely check
this
out. It's
in
worth a
your
place
watch
in the
list.
watch list. So I think with that,
Also, yeah, just again, if you guys want to get your portfolios reviewed, please check the link in the description. Rupeeting does you can send your portfolios for free, and the Rupeeting team will get your portfolios reviewed for free. So yeah, so I think that's a
we're
wrap
done
for
with
today.
marketing talk as well. So that's a wrap. I think we'll see you
Yes.
guys in the next
See
one.
you
Bye
guys.
bye.
Bye.